screen. Let's start. And after Piyada, we have to go back to the main room again to listen me speaking about something. All right, Piyada, the floor is yours. Record yourself.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we can see your screen now, and your voice is
Okay.
clear.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this webinar, which is the topic is about teaching listening by using the audio-lingual method for ESL students. So, before we getting into the content about this topic, I will introduce myself first as the speaker. My name is Piyada Sukkul. I'm studying in English major, Faculty of Education, Sansunanta Rajapat University. Well, before we are getting into real content, I have an activity for all of you to do. Are you ready? Does anyone want to play? Okay, I'll see from the
Yes.
screen. All right, I will say two lines, okay? And you have to listen carefully and repeat after me. All right, I will say, what are you doing tonight? You can turn on your microphone and speak aloud. Does anyone want to speak?
Watching movie.
No, I mean, you repeat after me. Repeat after me.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight?
Yes, and listen to me. I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema? Okay, and it's your turn.
I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema?
All right, and then listen to me again. What are you doing tonight? I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema? Okay, it's your turn. Anyone want to turn on your microphone and speak, feel free. Okay. All right. Okay. Listen carefully. Okay. What are you doing tonight? I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema? It's your turn. What are you what are you going what are you doing tonight? Yes. Yes. And the next round, I would like all of you to speak in whispering. Okay? Whispering. Maybe you whisper to yourself. Just like this. What are you doing tonight? I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema? Okay, did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and you try. Keep trying. Okay? Very good. And the last or the final round, I will speak more aggressive. Okay? What are you doing tonight? I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema? Okay, it's your turn to be more aggressive. Anyone want to speak? Just feel free. Does anyone want to repeat?
What are you going to do tonight? I don't know. Shall we go to the cinema?
Okay. Maybe someone or is too aggressive here. Okay. Very good. So I just say that the activity we will talk about the background of the students first. Okay. From my experience that I observed and taught the students last semester, I found out that many students don't understand or they didn't understand English. So why? I asked them who like English, and do you believe that there are few students raise their hands? Maybe two or three students. And I asked them, why? Tell me the reason, the rest of the students. And they just say to me, I didn't understand, just like this. So I found out that maybe some students experience problem because of language barriers or cultural differences. So when they have to study English language, which is a second language, they have to study, right? Because we are Thai and we have our mother tongue, which is Thai language. So when they have to study English as a second language, they don't understand. It's hard to them to understand. So when the teacher said or teacher teach them, they don't understand what teacher wanted them to do, just like this. And it's it's another alternative way to improve their listening skill, which I want you to know more about this method, which is the audio-lingual method. This is interesting method that you can adapt it into your class because this is the repetition of words that help your students to be able to use the target language communicatively. Because this method focuses on oral communication or oral practice, so the students have to listen carefully and speak, right? And it's useful for them to speak in their daily life or daily conversation. And moreover, drillings or drills is a key features and the most important thing in audio-lingual method to approach language teaching because there are some drills or some typical drills that associated in the audio lingual method, and drills are useful to teach in this method. I will talk about this, okay? For the audio lingual method, there are three simple patterns or three main features that are important in this method. Which one is repetition? Repetition, as you say from the beginning before I get into the content, that you have to repeat again and again, okay? And second, oral drills. Oral drills, as I said, is the communicative that you have to listen and speak. And the last one is memorization. Students have to memorize what teacher taught them or what teacher provided to them. And the audio-lingual method was developed by the well-known theory, which is behaviorism theory. What is behaviorism theory? It's about human behavior that could have been developed through reinforcements. So behaviorist psychology, they claim that it's had a significant impact on teaching and learning of audio-lingual method. So how it's important is based on three main elements of learning: stimulus, response, and reinforcement. The audio-lingual methods believe that a learner or students can achieve their learning skill or speaking skill by having a sequence of stimulus, response, and reinforcement. Okay, you have to encourage them, and when they have reaction to you, and it's cost them like empowering them to do activity. And these are drills. I say that many drills or some drills associated in the audio-lingual method. And I pick up some of drills that are important step by step in teaching listening. The first one, I will go through dialogue memorization. What is dialogue memorization? Well, students have to listen a conversation. The teacher will give them a dialogue or turn on the record to the students, and they have to listen carefully. And then student will memorize a dialogue without seeing the script, okay? And students repeat again and again with the teacher. Yes, the teacher can provide by speaking with correct pronunciation or turn on the audio to the students. And next one, we'll go through backward build-up drill or called expansion drill. Expansion drill is you can use when the teacher has some struggle with a sentence from the dialogue. As you say that maybe they confused with the form of the structure or form of the sentence, and the teacher have to expand into the sentence. For example, the teacher want student to repeat after them. Okay, where are you going? And the students have to repeat after teacher. Where are you going? So teacher add more after class, and students have to put after class into sentence. And it says, where are you going after class? All right. And the next drills, I will go to repetition drill. What is repetition drill? Repetition drill is the practice stage that teacher give to the students from learning dialogue, and then the teacher divides students into groups or pairs to act out and role play to each other. And then the teacher asks for volunteer to present in front of the class. It depends on teacher's instruction. All right. And the third one is single slot substitution drill. Single slot substitution drill is the students will be asked and answer. Teacher will ask the students first. Teacher will pick up a line or a state from the dialogue and then use a picture or words as a clue to students. So students must substitute into the sentence. Let's see the example. Well, the teacher pick up the sentence from the dialogue to the students. For example, I'm thinking about going to the library. There is one part from the dialogue, right? So I'm thinking about going to the library. The teacher repeat and repeat again. And then students have to look at the picture and think that, is this a library? Is this correct? But if it's not, they have to change the word into the word of the picture. And the student have to say, I'm thinking about going to the cinema. All right. Let's see the next example. Does anyone want to answer? When you see the picture and how to apply or how to adapt the vocabulary into the sentence. I'm thinking about going. Does anyone want to answer? Please raise your hand or turn on your microphone and speak. I'm thinking about going to, well, no one? Okay, it's okay. I'm thinking about going to the park. Okay, the student will look at the picture first. And this one too, the temple. I'm thinking about going to the temple. And this one, I'm thinking about going to the museum. And the next one is transformation drill. What is transformation drill? The teacher will provide a student from the dialogue by speaking to the students. And the student have to turn into another form. Well, it depends on teacher instruction. For example, you speak one sentence from the dialogue, and then it is a question form, right? So you want your student to turn into a statement or affirmative form. It depends on your instruction. For the example, she's going to the bookstore, and you want your student to turn into interrogative form or question form, and students have to change. Is she going to the bookstore? And the next, she's going to the pet shop, and you want them to turn into negative form. She isn't going to the pet shop. Okay. And the last one is question and answer drill. And this is important too because the student will show their understanding, okay, and learn from the structure from the dialogue that the teacher provided to them. The teacher showed the picture of the places. The student look at the picture, listen carefully, and answer correctly. Let's see. Well, the teacher showed the picture to the student and asked them, "Is he going to the park?" And then students have to listen carefully to the words. If it's not, they have to answer correctly by saying, "No, he is going to the police station." All right? And the next one too. Are they going to the pet shop? Are they going to the pet shop? If it's correct, the student have to say, "Yes, they are going to the pet shop." Okay? As it depends on the teacher. Is she going to the school? Student will look at the picture and they have to say, "No, she is not going. No, she is going to the hospital." All right. And is Sarah going to the temple? If the picture is not, the student have to say, "No, Sarah is going to school." All right. So I just say that the audio-lingual method is important and is one of alternative way to improve students' listening skill because they will practice their listen and speaking, but not only from listening or speaking. About their knowledge, they can improve their knowledge too in terms of vocabulary or grammar structure. Well, when teacher pick up some dialogue uh, that are about daily life, conversation, or something that around them, so they get used to the conversation and they can learn the vocabulary. They can learn the structure form by repeat and repeat again, and they can learn from improve their listening skill too because they have to listen to the teacher and speak as much as they could. And moreover, in terms of the social skill, it's improved them too because they have to work in pair or work in groups. So they can develop their social skill by have interaction with each other, and it's important for them to adapt it and apply it into daily life. So the last but not least, I focus on teaching listening. The main topic or the main features that I emphasize is about keep practicing. Listening is something that you have to practice because as ESL students, we have our own mother tongue, right? And English is our second language. So it's quite hard for students to learn or to listen to English or other language that they don't use then I'm so sorry that they don't get used to it. So keep practicing, and as much as you could to your students, it will help and help your students be better, and will get a higher level of proficiency in the future. So now this is all of my drills or techniques that I will give it to all of you. So does anyone have any questions or recommendation that you want to give me or ask me? Please feel free to ask.
Yes, thank you, Piyada. Any question for her? Comments, opinions, anything? Sure, Kanyapon.
Oh, I could say that I pick up one of drills that I use adapt in my class, such as repetition drill. You know that yes. Yes, repetition drill is important for me because when I want students to learn language by listen or practice, it's important for them to keep repetition in learning listening. So I use them and I let them to play act role play to each other and present in front of the class. you mean listening skill, right? Yes, I think they improve. Their skill is improved or be better because when they practice in speaking and they practice in terms of pronunciation. When they speak in correct pronunciation, when they listen to the audio or the native speaker say it, or when they watch the video from YouTube, just like this, they will understand clearly in terms of pronunciation, so that they will understand the context of the of the content of this the listening. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a question in the chat box from สงกรานต์ ครับ
Can you
Can
read?
you
Okay.
out of 10?
Okay. I will rate 8 because it's not easy for students. Maybe some of them, they don't have like equal background knowledge of the students. Maybe some of them have to practice more and more. But I think it is work out in terms of speaking and listening. Yes.
Right, so it's 8. Another question from Manat Chai. What do you think students get from role playing?
Well, role play, as you know, that it is something that quite interesting for students when you talk about role play. Role play is not about the sociable skill, as I said, from students have interaction with each other, but they will improve their creative skill too. It's not, I will not limit them. I will not like, you have to do this, you have to do this, just like draw a frame to them. I will, it's free to them to create the costume or anything, the prop, the materials that they want to use, adapt into their role play.
Thank you. Any more question for her? That is a very interesting approach. So I have heard that you have been used it in your real classroom, right?
Yes.
If I may ask, which level of student that you have been used it?
Grade 7.
Grade 7.
Yes.
I see. So it works, right?
Yeah, it's worked well. It's worked very well because, as you know, in the pandemic coronavirus, so maybe most of the students don't have like interaction with teachers. They're just playing their phone in the class. So I will find something that's interesting in the class to have them do activity as much as they could.
Okay, perfect. Any questions, suggestion, recommendation for her before we moved to the main stage, to the main room? TikTok. Any question? All right. So if there is no more question, I will open the space for you as a speaker. Oh, อาจารย์
No, I feel so sad that I missed it because the other room called me to like answer something. Oh my god! So you finished in your room?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, I'm crying.
So before we let you go, Piyada, I would like you as a user of, ALM. What are your suggestion or recommendation for teacher to try to use this method in their classroom?
Well, first of all, you have to know your students' background first and try to pick up something that useful for them as much as you could, because it's better if you use like daily conversation or something that around them or around daily life, around student daily life, and apply it as much as you could. And more important thing that you have to encourage your students as much as you could. is because you know that from audio-lingual method, drills are important, and you want your students to have interact with you or with their friends. So encouragement is important too.
Right, thank you very much. The last speaker for this session, Miss Piyada, thank you very much for your great